Thomas Tuchel has become the new England manager.
It's an honour, it's a privilege.
And it's the perfect debut.
I feel that we are going in the right direction.
It's absolute top class.
Thanks for the ride so far.
We want to put the second star on our shirt.
I just been the best of the bunch.
My childhood dream.
England are coming to America.
The final countdown to England's opening match of this summer's FIFA World Cup is about to almost reach its climax. And in just 3 days' time, they will travel once again to Dallas and to once again the A&TT Stadium in once again Arlington in Dallas for their first opening match of their group, and that being against their World Cup rivals from over 8 years ago of Croatia. But also as of this evening, also from the start of tomorrow morning, they will also be taking on another nation, of course, who have made it over 28 years to reach the World Cup finals in, of course, at the FIFA World Cup, are also that being Scotland. And they take on Haiti in their match also from later on this evening. But also we are going to look into a lot of features as we count down, and with only 3 days to go until their first and exciting, but most importantly, nerve-wracking World Cup match fixture. Good evening, all you England football fans, and welcome to this late-night edition, it has to be said, if you're wondering why it's a little bit more darker in my room here from earlier on. And welcome to another edition of my World Cup football vlog series of World Cup 26, the America's Dream, and to, once again, the second episode, where in this one we are going to look more in depth to, once again, the England squad that the German new manager Thomas Tuchel has picked for, of course, to hopefully go all the way to the World Cup final from next month on the 19th of July from, once again, the Life Stadium over in both New Jersey and New York. And as well as that, we'll also have a look at, as we mentioned just earlier on, that as Scotland are in the FIFA World Cup for the first time in many years, they are hoping to have a big result over the small Caribbean nation of Haiti. And as well as that, we will look in depth to the squad and also a few interviews ahead of the big match, of course, coming up in a few days' time. And we'll also now start with an exclusive report as of from earlier on this evening of recording this edition of World Cup 26, the America's Dream, as we now have an update as England have already touched down in their base camp in Kansas City as they look ahead to their first match fixture of this summer's FIFA World Cup.
England don't start their World Cup till Wednesday. They play Croatia, and after their warm-up games in Florida, they've arrived at their camp for the tournament in Kansas.
Touchdown from Palm Beach, Florida, to the dry heat of Kansas City, England's base camp for this World Cup. After 2 friendlies and nearly 2 weeks of recharging and acclimatizing, the switch to the heart of America signals the start of an intense fine-tuning period for Thomas Tuchel and his squad, with just 4 days to go until the first game against Croatia.
We're in a good place, a central position to reach all stadiums and all facilities. It allows us to build a home base, which is important, so we don't have to pack all the time all our luggages.
All the players are fit.
Everyone is available.
You have all your training gear?
I think so.
Yeah. If England arrived safely, some of their kit didn't. Boots and balls were stolen from a van transporting equipment across country. Arrests have been made, and it appears the kit has been returned in time for England's first training session tonight at the Swope Soccer Village, where hundreds of locals will get their first look at England's World Cup squad 2026.
When you look at the squad we have, when you look at the rotations, even in the friendly games, you know, the standard, the level never dropped, and that's been our case since Thomas has been here. So it's going to be a big part of the tournament, obviously the physical nature of it, and I think we're in great shape, so we just have to prove that when we play.
So the first match preparation is officially a go there for England, as once again they have recently travelled to Kansas City, where they're going to be staying for, I think, for the remainder, I think, of this summer's FIFA World Cup. And don't forget, as I said already, they will be travelling down to Arlington in Dallas for their opening match fixture against Croatia once again from next Wednesday on the 17th of June there. So brilliant to see that they're in good spirits as they touch down stateside in America, and very promising things to see. And also as well, we can also, if you might remember, for some of you that were with us in the last episode, there's also been another incredible thing that's just happened recently. The one and only legendary former England captain Sir David Beckham was also given the opportunity to be a part of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, and also he had been gifted the opportunity to have his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And he also has just messaged here, and even though this happened as of yesterday, he says here on Instagram, "A day I will never forget. Thank you, Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. So grateful to my friend Tom Cruise for being here with me, and to my wife Victoria and incredible children for your love and support. Los Angeles holds such a special place in my heart. I came here with a dream of what soccer could be in the US. To be recognized for the part I've played in helping grow the sport I love means so much. Amazing to celebrate on the day the World Cup starts in the USA." So yeah, this was just as officially when the tournament kicked off from just a few days ago. But it's amazing to see that following, I think it was last year, he had a long-awaited knighthood, also from His Majesty King Charles III, also for his services to sport and also charity work. And with also that being said, we also have got some words that were also said because of how close. It's unbelievable to think that it's been nearly over 30 years then since he met his wife-to-be at the time, of course, that being Victoria Adams, before she had her surname changed to Beckham. And here's what she had to say, and let me tell you, she also got a little bit teary-eyed when she was talking about the incredible feat and achievements that her husband has done, not just in the football world, but also for the the philanthropy world as well. Here she is.
The fact that mine and Victoria's first movie date was Jerry Maguire is a pretty mad full circle moment. Tom, I am so grateful for your friendship. You welcomed us to LA 20 years ago, and you have been a loyal friend and an inspiration to me ever since. I feel truly honored and fortunate to be living the American dream. So, I give thanks to this country. Most of all, I want to thank my incredible family. My parents and my sisters who always supported my dreams. Victoria, my amazing wife for almost 30 years, without whom none of this would be possible or enjoyable. And my beautiful children, who are the reason that I get out of bed in the morning. Kids, I'm going to get emotional now. I hope you bring my grandchildren here one day and tell them about a boy who dreamed big. To make you all proud is my greatest achievement. I'm so grateful for you all. I love you, and thank you so much for this honor, LA. It means the world to me.
Naturally, I assumed I was coming here today to receive my star for my part in that iconic cult classic, Spice World the movie. But as it turns out, earning a star takes a little more than surviving the late 90s box office. It takes vision, determination, and an extraordinary amount of hard work. To see David's name become part of that story today is incredibly special. Most of you will know David as a sportsman, a businessman, and an activist. But behind those titles is a man who has always been defined by his character. Whether he's working, supporting his family and friends, or the causes he cares about, he gives it everything. David, I am so proud of everything that you have achieved so far, but even more proud of the husband, father, and person that you have always been. Congratulations. We're so proud and we love you so much.
Oh, bless them both. Well, what a wonderful thing for the both of them to share that moment among themselves there. Once again, David and Victoria Beckham, who once again had got the incredible honour of having his own Hollywood Walk of Fame star there on, of course, in the Hollywood area of the United States there. And, well, also as well, we forgot to mention in the last episode that also just as we move to the, of course, the state of and around of Miami, also as well, England beat a local team, Miami FC, 6-0 in a training ground practice game, and unbelievably, Ivan Toney was among one of the goal scorers and was the star player of the match. And also a worldie goal also from newcomer Ria Ungumha also as well, who unfortunately has been left out of the squad, but he has also been a big attribute to the team as of recently with the friendlies as well. And it's been amazing to hear that also that if we can also quickly look up on here, because I also did recently retweet it also on X. And I think it's nice to see that it got the mention as I think as it should have done initially. It's quite incredible to see how much of an impact he and a few other players had. I can't seem to get it up on here, unfortunately. But anyway, with all that aside, as we have mentioned before, we've also got a few interviews coming up also with the captain and skipper Harry Kane on maybe his most possibly hopeful and most successful World Cup campaign as of in his career to date. But also we have got another exclusive interview with Thomas Tuchel, as we did just see there him briefly there right a few minutes ago. But also we want to also concentrate and focus on, all importantly, there has been a real asset to the team, as we've just mentioned him from earlier on, and that being for making his World Cup debut after being with so many, of course, clubs at in the Premier League, and he has been playing for a fair few years for the likes of Peterborough, and also I think it was Man City, and a few other local clubs from all across the country. And now for him, after his successful campaign at last summer's Euros from 2 years ago, back in 2024, when he had contributed in a huge way to that incredible overhead kick goal equaliser against Slovakia in the knockout round of 16, and then also he was one of the 5 players to score 5 perfect penalties and to win over Switzerland in the semi-finals, quarter-finals, my apologies. And also, as of recently, as we mentioned earlier on, Gabriel Clark of ITV Sport caught up with him from just a few weeks ago on what he thinks as he heads to his first ever FIFA World Cup start.
Welcome to America, sir.
Good to see you, eh? And yourself, you good? It's a huge honour to be involved in this, you know. It really is. It's a big mission we're all on, and we're ready to fight for the country.
What was the one feeling when you were called up?
No, it's just excitement, really. There was a lot of talk of people saying, oh, I've gone out to Saudi and it's ruined my chance of being in and around the mix, but me, I don't listen to outside noise, you know.
There's an aura to Ivan Toney.
You know your no-look penalty? Yeah.
If many were surprised at his selection, this natural scorer's singular path has given him an unbreakable confidence.
Good.
Some players have to go back to go forwards.
Oh, I've had to do that plenty of times. Barnsley, Shrewsbury, Wigan, Scunthorpe, Peterborough, Northampton, everywhere. Only I'm on striker. The trim's changed a bit, huh? 16 maybe. This is the striker, this bashes everyone around this one.
Whoa, what is this? Was the Ivan Toney at Northampton, the young lad, believing then he could make a World Cup?
I think it was always in your mind, you know. You watch the World Cups and you think, oh, I want to be involved in that. The hunger's there, and yeah, if you manifest it, you always have a big chance of doing it. That's everything in life. Whenever I step onto the pitch, I have the belief that I can make something happen.
Did you do that at the last tournament?
100%. When I did come onto the pitch, there was 1 minute left. I was feeling there was going to be another big chance. And it managed to drop to Jude, and we continue and progress into the tournament. I think if you believe something's going to happen, you speak into existence, you know? I manifested that, and we progressed to the final.
Is it spiritual?
I believe so, yeah. When everybody was writing me off that I wasn't going to be involved in the England picture, and the spiritual feeling that you can change things around, you know, and I managed to do that, and I'm sat here with you now.
It was Thomas Tuchel who appeared to have written Tony out of his script. Called up just once last summer in a defeat to Senegal, Tony's 7-minute cameo added up to just 2 touches and one unhappy manager. What needed to change?
I think your headspace. We spoke, we cleared the air, we cleared things, and I'm in a lot better headspace than I was back then. I'm a lot more confident. I feel like I do belong here.
When it came down to all different kinds of scenarios, he was back in the picture. I had fantastic feedback from his coach about his ability, about his fitness. He's a natural finisher. He can help us with set pieces. And not to forget, he's a world-class penalty taker.
Are you a better player than the one who went to the Euros?
Yes, for sure. I think my numbers speak for himself.
How many last season?
42. Not too bad, Not too bad.
I think he can be a game changer. I think he's great to play with. He can come on and make a difference. He can occupy defenders. Yeah, he's an intelligent player.
A player like that, when he says that, I must be doing something right, you know? And I think if I could disrupt players, it's in the back of the net.
And no change? Still no look?
Still no look, the same old, same old. You have to have the aura. It's just, for sure, the swag has to be there. Be fearless. The younger me looking on to now would be like, enjoy it really. I'm grateful to represent my country, you know. So you have to manifest that with winning games. If you start 2 games later, it's too late.
Ready?
More than ready.
Ooh, well, I literally had a few little chills watching that there. I mean, it's incredible how laid back he is, but also as well, he's definitely got a bit of a flair about him there, Ivan Toney there, and especially as we just heard there has been obviously put forward to hopefully be quite the asset, I think, if there is going to be any hard challenges amongst the England team at this summer's FIFA World Cup campaign. And with that also being said, as if we haven't had the chance to do so already, it's time now to look more into a depth of the squad and a quick reminder of the 26-man squad that Thomas Tuchel has decided to choose and also pick for this summer's FIFA World Cup.
Jordan Pickford.
Ezri Konsa.
Nico O'Reilly.
Declan Rice.
We got that. Got
John Stones.
Mark Gee.
Bukayo Saka.
Elliot Anderson.
Harry Kane.
Jude Bellingham.
Marcus Rashford.
Tino Livramento.
Dean Henderson.
Jordan Henderson.
Dan Burn.
Kobbie Mainoo.
Morgan Rogers.
Anthony Gordon.
Ollie Watkins.
Noni Madueke.
Ebere Eze.
Ivan Toney.
James Trafford.
Reece James. Jed Spence.
Jarell Quansah.
Thomas Tuchel.
Well, there you have it, folks. It was almost very reminiscent there of the play of Dear England there, where, of course, you had each of the players before they came up for that all-important penalty shootout against Colombia back 8 years ago at the FIFA World Cup with their, of course, their legacy cap number there. And but we just had the numbered positions of each of the squad as well, including some of the subs there as well. And also, you might be wondering, if you haven't seen already, unfortunately, a few of the players, the likes of Cole Palmer and also Phil Foden, have been left out of the squad due to recent injury problems and quite unfortunate poor form for their clubs at the moment. But we've also, from just a few days ago here, with this comment here on X from Legion, and it says about Phil Foden breaking his silence about being left out of the World Cup squad by Thomas Tuchel. And a journalist asked Foden about his reaction to the omission alongside Cole Palmer and how it made him feel and what message he had for the selected players who made the final 26-man squad for this summer's World Cup. And Foden's response said here that that decision isn't easy the way that most people see it, you know, question mark. If you me, said Palmer, and the other players being left out, I don't want to say I'm angry, but I would have loved to have been there to try and help my team, but it is what it is. And if Cole Palmer, one of Chelsea's best players over the past 3 years, isn't called up, then I don't have any reason to be angry about my own situation. And his message to all of the other fellow teammates representing England for this summer's World Cup. To all my teammates representing England at this World Cup, I wish them the absolute best of luck. I believe they can make the country proud and bring the trophy home. That's all I've got to say on it. Thanks. So it's a very reasonable response there. I understand that over 4 years ago, Phil Foden last played, making his World Cup debut in Qatar from 4 years ago, back in 2022, and he went on to score an incredible early goal right after Marcus Rashford scored from a free kick, and in an incredible way during the 3-0 win over Wales. And also he scored in the opening game against the Islamic Republic of Iran as well, with the final score 6-2 as well, which was the highest, of course, score line on any of the games they played. And unbelievably, even though they controversially got knocked out to France, losing 2-1 after, of course, after 90 minutes, and an unfortunate second penalty miss, despite him getting a first one initially, Harry Kane. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, and a quite indiscriminate Brazilian referee, I think, was responsible for costing England going out of the tournament. But despite that happening, they managed to walk away with a fair play award as well, so at least they got a little consolation award there as well. And but going into this tournament, I feel like England have got a real shot at redemption here, and I feel like that we can also, I've got a few comments here that now I know that most people have been obviously sharing their thoughts on their division on how the nations have been all running, of course, or how the way that this World Cup has been going on, mostly from I think from mostly from an economical side, as well as just the main part of the games, a more business side in that particular way. And we've also had another a tweet here on X from Ellis, known as E here on X, and he said, "I'm sorry guys, but I'm genuinely so excited for this World Cup. Messi, Ronaldo and Neymar's last ever World Cup. Yamal, Dewey, as I was going to say, Cherokee, sorry, I spelled that right, the name of the player wrong there. And Elise's first ever World Cup. Kane has to step up and can't afford to go missing when it's crunch time. Mbappe of France, Kylian Mbappe, who got the Golden Boot 4 years ago, will be playing with a massive chip on his shoulder after all the criticism he received for being at Real Madrid. Dembele has never really stepped up for France either. Then you have the likes of Rashford, who will be hoping to perform to attract potential suitors. Just feels like there's so much at stake, it'll be amazing. Well, of course, that is the beauty of the World Cup, and unbelievably from earlier on as of today, we saw an unbelievable shock result for Switzerland, even though they were a goal ahead thanks to Breel Imbello scoring in the, I think it was the first 17 minutes. Amazingly, in injury time, the captain of Qatar, I don't remember the player's name, unfortunately, but he managed amazingly to score a one-touch header across in the last 2 minutes of additional 5 minutes in extra time, and at the end of the second half, and it was just unbelievable, and loads of the pundits on ITV Sport with Mark Palgacci, Ian Wright and Roy Keane said that even at half-time, and even Gary Neville also mentioned this as well, it's a very dangerous lead just to be ahead by 1 goal. It's a very, narrow or vulnerable lead, and unfortunately, despite having over 20 shots on target on goal, they sadly could not get any more goals, and that's what cost them with a quite historical draw for once again Qatar there, and to get their first ever World Cup point in a FIFA World Cup finals tournament is a brilliant achievement for that side. And we've also had another one here, also known from Mike of Cop's Finest, and he said, "This World Cup may be great or it may be bad, but I'm sick to death of people's miserable attitudes to literally everything. Of course it's going to be bad if you go around complaining about every little thing. How do people live like that? Be happier, think happier." So nice to see a very strong bits of positivity there from one particular England fan. And also there has been another one here, of course. Now loads of people, as we just mentioned Gary Neville, also he says here that as he spoke to Sky Sports Football from yesterday, he did say that we have one generally world-class player, and that is Harry Kane. And this is, of course, a bit of backlash among England fans. And we've got Oro here, known as McFly Bowery on X, and he has got quite a lengthy message here that I sadly won't be able to put up on the screen for you, but I will be reading this as quickly and as brief as possible. And he said, "The way these people disrespect Rice, Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham is crazy, because you are saying, if you're saying that England have one world-class player, that is a disrespect to both of them. Declan Rice has been one of the best midfielders in Europe for the last 2 or 3 seasons. His ability to cover ground, win duels, progress the ball and control transitions is elite. Every top team in the world will take him. Then there's Jude Bellingham, who at 22 has already become one of the most complete midfielders in football. He can score, create, carry the ball, defend, lead and decide big games. People with that profile are extremely rare. You can debate to whether England have enough balance, whether they can maximise their talent, or whether they can win the World Cup. And that's a fair discussion. But pretending Rice and Bellingham aren't world-class just scream lack of knowledge. People sometimes judge players based on trophies instead of performances, and if Rice and Bellingham were doing exactly what they were doing for another national team, nobody would question their world-class status. Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham are absolutely among the best players in their positions in world football today. So very big statement there to say, and I totally agree. Honestly, it's obviously, as I've mentioned before, this has always been something that has always been so cynical among the mostly national psyche of England fans. They always are so pessimistic, and because we're so used to doing quite poorly at major tournaments, but since obviously since the end of the incredible legacy of Gareth Southgate, taking us once again, as I've said before, at the most recent form in, as it was mentioned, in amazingly as a line of dialogue in the TV adaptation of BBC's Dear England. No other England manager has had a better form in major tournaments than any other manager prior to the late Sir Alf Ramsey back in 1966. Semi-final against Croatia, even though they lost 2-1 after extra time, they still went on to get to the third place playoff, and despite losing to Belgium, they finished 4th and equaling their best record since 1990, since they also went out in the semi-final against Germany on dreaded penalties. Also, the Euros final in 2021 for a first European Football Championship final for England in history since 1966, and despite losing to Italy, and also a lot of unrest, and also had to be said a lot of unruly things that happened off the pitch rather than on it as well. That was a brilliant achievement for Gareth Southgate. And once again, as we mentioned, also the quarter-final run to the last World Cup in Qatar in 2022, and once again for the first time their first European Championship final on foreign soil in Germany from 2 years ago. And despite losing to champions of Spain, they still had it weren't the easiest way to get to the final. I know they had loads of narrow, of course, and quite unbelievable comebacks, especially one of the prime ones being against Slovakia, to come from a goal behind, and the same for Switzerland and the Netherlands. But amazingly, they managed to go all the way, which was incredible, even though they narrowly missed out on winning the European Championship trophy. But the way that he wanted to bring back, of course, the hope and optimism for England fans everywhere, I feel like it can now literally be almost topped now. And especially if you might remember from the video we showed you in the last episode of World Cup 26, The America's Dream, we saw that amazing video of Thomas Tuchel with his team, how determined he was to get a second star on the England shirt at this summer's World Cup. And once again, he has had recent success. As I've said before, he's a football championship winning manager, a major tournament winning manager, with winning on the 2021 UEFA Champions League final with Chelsea. And loads of people addressed this as well right at the very beginning of when he was first appointed the job, and now of course we're going to look more into what he has done recently, because we did show it well once again I think on the lead up to the this of course upcoming summer's FIFA World Cup in here, and of course in the North and South America, in Canada, the United States and Mexico. But we're now going to have a look at a unique look on of course on Thomas Tuchel's hopeful and his thoughts and looking ahead to this summer's FIFA World Cup. And as well as that, we'll I think we might also have an exclusive interview from a recent press conference that he just did also. We don't know where from exactly, but I'm sure we'll find something here. And here's a little bit more about, as alongside with Thomas, we'll also hear from his assistant manager of Anthony Barry on their thoughts and what they hope to find from and what to deliver for this England senior men's football team as we head in just a few days' time for England's first World Cup football match fixture against Croatia at the start of next week.
He's England's 16th permanent manager, and the first just over a year into the job to sign a new contract.
I felt very connected before, but yes, I feel even more connected now. And I'm long enough in the business to know how precious an alignment is, and it was an honor to extend the contract.
As you want. Ready?
He has, as a coach, just an elite quality, an elite understanding of the game, but at the same time, he has this X factor in terms of building teams and building strategy.
Driven. Every meeting, every time we walk into the building, everything. It's don't lose sight of why we're doing it. I think that's the key one to win the World Cup.
You don't get the day-to-day connection with players.
Yeah, which I miss a lot.
But maybe you don't get the day-to-day interference.
Of course. That's why I feel in charge sportively. We define the position and then the player shows up.
You talked about the identity of your team that you wanted to find. What is at the heart of it?
Intensity and positivity.
The vibe, the feel-good element, that helps take care of on the pitch.
The Serbia match was a key moment, for sure. And that was the big moment that you sometimes need.
Sometimes the biggest players, when they have a real level of threat, if you treat it in the right way, it can push you up. One of our ideas here is to try to keep the shirt light. And they should be happy to play for England. In Serbia that night, you're seeing all that energy be released from the group.
What do England players want first when they turn up?
Clarity.
Yeah, I'd say so. I've got all the tools for me to just go and be me.
They're top players. And our job is to build the best group out of it, to build a real team.
He has this aura, this charisma. I see it on the pitch, I see it in dressing rooms, I see it in one-on-one interactions. At all times, he seems to find the right note.
Some fans might say, well, why are we rewarding a man who hasn't taken a tournament match yet, who hasn't maybe been under real pressure yet? Why does he get a new contract?
Well, I think nothing special is achieved in a constant place of happiness. Sometimes you enter dark places, you enter self-doubts, and the pressure is on. It will for sure come, and hopefully it will come, and hopefully it will last long.
So you're saying you will relish the time when the pressure is really on?
Yeah, of
That
course.
is when we'll see the best of Thomas Tuchel.
I don't know, but normally, yes. And we're obviously convinced that we have a good tournament. If we absolutely don't have it, we need to adjust and be honest with ourselves.
And rethink?
Of course. And everyone rethinks. We're in top-level football.
Since Euro 2024, England haven't beaten a team ranked in the world's top 20. Several new talents have emerged. But it's the manager's performance that most intrigues if England are to go that final step. Is the unknown in this as well, this equation, the X factor Thomas will bring?
Massively. He's one of the best coaches in the world. He's got the pedigree that he's got, and he's on our side, and we've got to use that to our advantage.
In every job I've seen him get better, and I think in this job he's getting even better again. And I really know when he's on fire. I can see it in his eyes, and I see that in him now.
We want to go all the way. That's the mission, and we need to get the group right. It's not about collecting talents. It's about arriving with the best team to make it happen that we win the trophy.
We are there in summer. We are there, brilliant. My childhood dream to go to World Cup. I cannot be more proud to go with you guys.
And we need the crowd. We will feel it. If the pubs are full, if the fan zones are full, if people stay up at night and push us, we will feel it. I'm a strong believer in that.
We will rock this thing in America next year. Go!
Well, Well, there we go. Some very positive and very inspirational words there said by, once again, Thomas Tuchel. And yeah, well, there you go. I mean, I can't argue with that, honestly. He is determined to show, hopefully, the rest of the other 47 nations in this summer's FIFA World Cup that England do stand a chance. It may seem impossible, but as like with the theme of this series, they dare to dream, like 8 years ago of, unbelievably, that was actually the name of a documentary film called Daring to Dream, with the incredible run to, as I said before earlier on in the programme, of England at the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia, when they managed to, like I said, get to the semi-finals of that particular tournament. And I'm sure that 8 years later they want to do exactly that again, and I'm sure that loads of other people are expecting the same thing as well. And I think we're certainly in for a very exciting campaign. And well, with that also being said, unfortunately we have come to the end of this edition of, once again, World Cup 26, the America's Dream. But like I said before, the time is nearly up, because in just a few days' time it will be England's first match at this summer's FIFA World Cup, as I've said before, in Group L. And once again, to remind you that the opening match against their, once again, their World Cup rivals from, once again, back in 2018 in the semi-final, they will take on, once again, Croatia on from 3 o'clock over there in, once again, their own time zone as well. Once again, to remind you there as well. And many, well, not to say many days later, but the following week after that, they'll then travel to the Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, where more specifically that is in Boston, Massachusetts, as well, which is very poignant as well, because as you know, there has been a little thing about that has been going on, especially on ITV Sport, with this that particular city in America, as it comes to the old pages of history with Great Britain, and once again the Americans, going back to as far as that infamous day of the Boston Tea Party, where the tea was thrown overboard, if you might remember, which is still a tradition that is celebrated even as they draw ever so closer to their 250th year anniversary since becoming independent back in 1776. And then towards the end of the month, on the 27th of June, they then head to, unbelievably, the actual stadium where the FIFA World Cup Final, as we mentioned earlier on in the programme, in New Jersey and New York, of the MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. That is where they will take on the South American side of Panama. And if I hadn't had the chance to say that, they're travelling before then to the Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to take on the African nation of Ghana. But it's a very good group that England have, and I hope they're wanting to have a good performance. I mean, especially it was mentioned at the end of their last friendly match at the Inter & Co Stadium in Orlando from just a few days ago, that after the quite hard-fought challenges from the Costa Rican team, that they, even though they're not qualified for the World Cup, but they made it really hard for England to grind out that 3-0 whitewash win there. But good job is that no one was injured, as you did hear from earlier on from Thomas Tuchel. Everyone is fighting fit and ready to go. So England are looking very confident going into this first match fixture, and I'm hoping that we'll get to see a nice game as of the start of next Wednesday. And that is, of course, as I've said before, we are going to take a few days break from this series now. But don't forget, here on JackpotButtonLewis Sport Productions, there's more programmes to look forward to. As of the start of next week, you can also join me for another edition of Theatre Going Revival, where I go and see a brand new musical which I can't believe that I'm actually saying right now is the one that has been very popular at the moment in the West End, at the moment at the Prince Edward Theatre, of the one and only Beetlejuice the Musical. That's right, everybody. If you didn't know already, that is one of the shows that I will be going to see from later on, as of next week, from next Monday on, once again, the 15th of June. And also, don't forget, as we mentioned, there is, as I just mentioned with the series also too, there is also another chance for also you to catch up with the one and only the TV adaptation of the Olivier award-winning play from James Graham of Dear England, starring Joseph Fiennes playing the titular role of Gareth Southgate, who once again was Olivier award nominated, alongside from Doctor Who fame of Jodie Whittaker playing Dr. Pippa Grange, the psychologist, and also Will Attenborough, who also is playing the role of the hopeful, and who would go on to be a future successful asset to the England football team himself, of that being the captain and skipper Harry Kane. And that's once again available to watch now, the whole series from Left Side Pictures, and on courtesy of the BBC right now here on JackpotButtonLewis Productions. And don't forget also, there is another look as well as in the lead up to also, if you were with us not too long ago for the last episode of Theatre Going Revival, I also got the chance to see the one and only Farewell UK Tour production of Why I Stuck a Flare Up My Arse for England from Alex Hill. He is hoping that as of recently, due to the incredible success of his show right now, he is going to be performing at the Garrick Theatre for a one-night only performance in over a 700 seat theatre, and for the first time in his career with this particular work. And if you don't know on how he got the idea for this show, here is a little reminder of how the incredible journey of that very popular show that he has done, all based off a very unusual thing that happened back at the Euro 2021 final with England against Italy.
Diehards, the lot of us, all packed into this glorious stretch of land they call Wembley Way. Proud to be it, proud to be one, proud to be English. 3 lions on our shirt, hoping and praying this will be the night that ends all the hurt. No rules today, no one's saying that you can't do anything, be anything. Bottles are being flung across the sky. People are swinging out from lampposts up high. We're throwing fences, flipping benches, police are getting jittery. We are gonna do Italy! My turn to do something crazy, my turn to be seen. To walk up on England's mountains green. This flare is going up my bum.
On the 11th of July 2021, an England fan put a lit flare between his bum cheeks on this very spot in Leicester Square before we went on to lose to Italy in the final of the European Championships. I saw that iconic viral image on my way to watching the game at a mate's house and thought that would make a really interesting stage play. A year later, I graduated drama school and began writing the play, and then a year after that, in 2023, we premiered Why I Stuck a Flare Up My Arse for England in a 50-seater hotel conference room at the Edinburgh Fringe. Since then, we've been lucky enough to tour the show around the UK, around the world in fact. We've picked up over 55-star reviews, managed to win multiple awards, and even had the legendary Chris Kamara and Ben Shepherd lend their voices to the show. We've taken the show on a journey that we never thought would be possible, and this summer, during the height of World Cup fever, we're lucky enough to be performing in the heart of London's West End at a 710-seater theatre. So we've come a long way from that 50-seater hotel conference room at the Garrick Theatre. On Sunday, the 21st of June, on Father's Day, you can get your tickets at nymaxtheatres.com. We'd love to see you there. Come on, England!
Oh, absolutely amazing indeed. Well, once again, on behalf of myself, Jack Wright, and from everyone here from the studios of JackpotButtonLewis Productions and all the team working here on World Cup 26, the America's Dream, we want to wish a very best of luck to Alex Hill, the writer of Why I Stuck a Flare Up My Arse for England. I know that I've had the pleasure of seeing your show for the last 2 times, and not to mention, of course, last at the Norwich Playhouse Theatre, local to me, based here in England. But I hope that you're also going to be enjoying the FIFA World Cup, and also meant that I know that you've also got a date planned, also unbelievably, of the actual final itself on the 19th of July at the Soho Theatre over in of course, the Hudson part of Manhattan in New York. So hopefully England can get there as well, which fingers crossed, hopefully that will happen. But the very best of luck, Alex, and once again, don't get too ahead of yourself there, mate. Honestly, I know, don't go and flare up your own backside for too long, because I bet you must be bored silly of it right now. Anyway, well, as I said, of course, as I just had to record that message as of right now, that is it, as I said already, for this edition of World Cup 26, the America's Dream, and the second episode in the series. If you have enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give it a like, comment down below on your thoughts of the England side, of course, with Thomas Tuchel, and your predictions for the upcoming game against Croatia. Don't forget, if any of you future, of course, fellow, I meant to say, England fans, want to have any input in the series, don't forget to direct message me, and of course, if you have any things to talk about, your memories of following England, the senior men's football team at any particular major tournament, or your thoughts on how the team should play for an upcoming match fixture, and also a score prediction also as well for any future match during this particular tournament. We would once again love to hear from you, and once again, it's not just myself obviously doing this for all of you England football fans. I have been waiting once again 4 years to once again cover a major tournament, and this is the second one that I've done, and I couldn't be any more thankful and grateful to get the opportunity. I mean, literally, as you can see, of course, I literally got a replica version of the famous Onda, of course, match ball, and a replica FIFA World Cup trophy as well. I also do have the Jules Rimet trophy as well, which I showed to all of you from in the last episode, which once again was the trophy that was prior to this particular one, and that over nearly 60 years ago is still the only time that England have won the World Cup. But they are getting close. They have managed to do pretty well over the last 2 tournaments, and I hope that as of 2026 they want to try and finally end those 60 years of hurt and hopefully go all the way to the final. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but we'll start as we mean to go on, but we'll be back in just a few days' time, once again on Wednesday the 17th of June, for once again live coverage of the opening group match L game of England versus Croatia, once again from the A&T Stadium in Arlington in Dallas. And with that also to look forward to, we'll also give you an update on full classified results from all the other matches in the other 7 groups as well, and we look forward to seeing some more, hopefully some more shocker results like as we had there with Qatar against Switzerland from earlier on this evening. But also as well since they are about to be kicking off in just a few hours time, also very best of luck to the home nation of Scotland as well against Haiti. I'm sure that they've waited long enough to finally be in the finals of a FIFA World Cup again, but I hope they will make it a tournament to remember. And maybe, dare I say it, I wonder if we could maybe actually meet each other sometime during this tournament, but we'll have to find out. And it's all going to happen with all the action that will happen on the pitch and like I said, you can't honestly predict it. I mean, the beauty of this tournament is like a international version of the FA Cup. I mean, honestly, it is totally unpredictable, and that result, as we had from earlier on this evening, is a prime example of that. Well, anyway, with that being said, thanks very much for watching this edition of World Cup 26, the America's Dream, and as always, until next time, au revoir, adios, au wiedersehen. We'll be here for the first opening match in Group L of England's campaign at this year's FIFA World Cup. Once again, we will be there. Will you be? Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in a few days' time for the opening match of England's campaign at this year's FIFA World Cup. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Are we done? Woo! There we go. And there we have it. My goodness, it's been quite busy, honestly. All of these, well, it's not exactly a last-minute thing, you know, doing all these episodes and everything, but, yeah, that's crazy that we've managed to do 2 in just one day. And I've just come fresh from editing the friendly against Croatia as well. I'm sorry, not Croatia. No, I meant to say Costa Rica. Oh, it's getting late now, isn't it? My mind is just going all over the place now, but, well, I can't believe we're almost there. And do you honestly feel like that with, hopefully, this start of a new journey for the England football team at another major tournament? It would be nice for us to go all the way, wouldn't it? I mean, we can dare to dream, we can have, like I said, as I mentioned, that's the whole reason why I called my series The America's Dream. It's definitely something that might seem outlandish, but as we always say, just like that very famous refrain from the England football song of 3 lines is coming home, football's coming home, we still believe. Well done, everybody. Brilliant to start off with a brand new, of course, 2 episodes of my brand new World Football Vlog series of that being World Cup 26, the America's Dream. And we hope to have a good result over Croatia in just a few days' time from the start of next week. And cut.